In this video, I'm going to explain why I pay to have my apartment cleaned, even though I'm not rich. So you might think, oh, this is something, rich people do, or you have to have a maid or a cleaning service. And, that's true for some people. For me, it's not the case. But I believe there's very valid reasons why it makes sense to outsource or pay people to do things that you don't want to do, even if you're not like super wealthy or something. And I'll explain this using kind of an economic argument as well as a psychological argument as it relates to happiness. But this all started because my friends found out that I paid someone to clean my bathroom, specifically the bathroom. It was whatever, we won't go there. I'd been away for a while and it was getting a little greasy. So I paid someone to clean it. Now, a part of the reason I think I was getting made fun of is because this person I happened to pay to clean it also happens to be my girlfriend. But that is a topic of discussion that is not relevant to this. That's something else. But let me give first a brief brief economic defense, and then the scientific defense, kind of thinking about psychology and optimizing for happiness. The economic side, there's a few people, or I shouldn't say a few, there's probably several people who talk about this line of thinking. One of the main ones is Naval Ravikant. Now, he's an angel investor, entrepreneur, tech guy, whatever. Some people are super into him. I'm not like a Naval obsessed person, but his thinking about money and economics is very important, very powerful. So he teaches that your money has your time has an inherent value. Right? So think about it like this. The market or the economy at large will pay you a certain amount of money for your time. So if you have an hourly job, that would be your price. They pay you per hour. If you have a salary job, you add up your salary plus your benefits, which is probably another $5,000 to $10,000. So let's think you make $80,000 salary plus whatever, some $75,000 salary plus $5,000 in benefits. That's $80,000. Then you just think, well, I work 50 hours a week, 40 hours each of those weeks, or 50 weeks, 40 hours each of those weeks. So that'll be 2,000 hours. So you got 80,000 divided by 2,000, so $40 an hour. That's the monetary value of your time in the market. And so he talks about using this as a mechanism to think through decision making. And the idea being that if you can pay someone to achieve a result for you or do something that you don't want to do at an hourly rate that is less than the hourly rate of your time, then that's essentially profit, right? You can think of it like that. Like if I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to go clean or I'm going to go fill out these emails or do this really boring administrative like data entry, and I value my time, my last full-time job valued my time at about $65 an hour. So if I can pay an assistant $15 in the Philippines to fill out spreadsheets, and she does it for an hour, you can kind of think, well, I just saved $50 because that's the time value or the monetary value of that time. So anyway, that is kind of mechanism you can use to think through that is to set a hourly rate for yourself based on what you're earning in the market, and it may be even a little higher if you want to make it something aspirational. And kind of the ways you can then increase that are supply and demand. So supply. You can make your skill set more scarce. So learn how to do more difficult or more valuable things. Or of course, increase demand. So find skill sets that are more in demand that people are willing to pay more for. But the idea being we can attach a monetary value to our time to kind of optimize, and that's how you scale things eventually. So you can imagine the CEO of Delta Airlines. I don't know what his salary is, but it probably works out that the hourly value of his time is something like $1,000 an hour. And you may think, oh, that's ridiculous. There's no way he could be 100 times more than the average person. And that may not be true, but that's just what the market is saying. That's what the market is saying. So it doesn't really make sense for him to, be like filling out spreadsheets, or you don't call into customer service at Delta and he's like, hey, this is Ed Bastian, the CEO of Delta. How can I help you? Because the hourly value of his time is so great that it's going to be more focused on developing other leaders or making big strategic decisions or leading new initiatives, etc. So that's just the economic piece, right? I hope you're with me. The psychological piece I'm going to reference comes from the work of Dunn from the University of British Columbia and Norton from Harvard. Now, they each have labs that look at a lot of this stuff, and they've done their own research. They also have a book together called Happy Money. But they talk about two related pieces here. So one is that it tends to be that the kind of gains we get from using money to purchase pleasures are not as impactful as using money to avoid suffering. Because you can kind of think about those are slightly different things, right? So you can say, oh, I have $100. I'm going to go buy a new watch, or I'm going to buy some candy or a bottle of wine. Or you can say, I have $100. What are 2 or 3 things that I really, really, really don't want to do? Well, I hate doing laundry and I hate cooking. So I'm going to pay someone a laundry service, and I'm going to pay to go eat at this restaurant or have food delivered. And what they tend to find is you get more gains from avoiding suffering than you do from pursuing pleasure, so to speak. Excuse me. They also talk about how investments that are used to save you time tend to return a higher kind of happiness ROI is my term. That's not the term they use, but they tend to have higher returns in terms of turning your money into subjective well-being, also known as happiness. So they say it's better to use money to avoid suffering when appropriate and to save you time. So that's 2 arguments why you have the economic one, the scientific one, for why I pay someone who happens to be related to me in some sense to clean my bathroom. And I will now send this video to my friends who are making fun of me, as well as my girlfriend, and I'll see how that goes. So this has been, I guess, a special edition of, again, life and science. So I hope you enjoyed this. You can check out this video if you want, but otherwise, that's all for today. So thanks for watching. This has been your happiness nerd, Jackson Kirchis.